Alright, so I apologize to my hair, but we're gonna go over trading review for the 11th of November and what parameters I used to get into this trade setup. I'm about to show you guys, which is right here. It was a 4-to-1, but because I was trading it on a bank holiday and also on the on an eval, I could only go 50% of a profit target per trade. You can't make 100% of like profit target in one trade. So I closed my position at 2-to-1, but it went all the way up to about 4 RR from where I entered. But yeah, I'm gonna go over the review right here. So first of all, how I come into the market. When I came to the market, I came into the market looking for bullish price action due to the fact that in NQ we're already in discount, heavy discount, which was around this range right here, and we also had one stage of sequential SMT, which is pretty much SMT between the Q2 daily cycle low and the Q3 daily cycle. So that's sequential SMT on the daily cycle. Then get into market open, which happened around this candlestick. I was overall looking for bearish price action one because we took out liquidity and I was expecting us to take some kind of liquidity up to see before we eventually gravitate higher. So what did I wait for? I waited for a sweep of liquidity after market open, which we got right here at 950. 9:50, 10 a.m. We tend to have 10 a.m. reversal, meaning if we start the market open bullish, we have a reverse, some kind of reversal. If the price align, we normally get reversals at 10 a.m. In this case, we saw a reversal after the sweep at 9:45, 9:50. We saw the reversal at 9:55 to 10. Then we saw the reversal back down afterwards. But I'm going to show you the reason why I took the trade. So one, we had one stage of liquidity sweep, sequential SMT with this is the nasdaq right here, and we have the S&P right here, which is the two-stage sequential. So we had this low getting taken by this, and I was expecting this low, pre-market low, to get swept while the Dow not sweeping the lows. So how the iframe the trade setup. So when the Nasdaq took out the low at 945, look at the 945 candlestick right here. 945, 950 candlestick. So the 950 candlestick on the S&P closed bullish and then it take out this pre-market low. But on the Nasdaq, we saw the pre-market low got swept by the 950 candlestick. But notice how this candlestick closed bearish. This is a 950 candlestick right here. So already I came in looking bullish because we already had one stage of liquidity sweep, which happened right here. Notice how this candlestick, the 950 candlestick, closed bullish, bearish, and we took out those lows right here. But on the Dow, but on the S&P, the same low, pre-market low, failed to get taken, and we closed bullish on this candlestick right here. So we had two stages SMT because we had the Nasdaq and the S&P taking out this low, but the Dow Jones failed to take out this low. All right, that's one stage SMT. Two stages SMT. This low that was created pre-market, the Nasdaq took out the low, the S&P failed to take out the low, and the Dow Jones failed to take out this low. We can see the Dow Jones right here, and we can see both stages of SMT. Price failed to take, or price failed to go below the SMT, so which is right here. So we had the daily sequential SMT, Dow Jones failed to take out this low, right? Boom, that's the first stage of we showing bullish price action. Second stage, we saw Dow Jones failed to go below this low, pre-market low, and that candlestick that took out the low on the Nasdaq, 950 candlestick, was right here. It closed bullish on the Dow, and the S&P closed bearish on the S&P, on the Nasdaq. Whenever that happens, you can just click the button after that 5-minute candlestick close. You can just trigger your trade off of there, put your stop loss below where price swept and create a sequential SMT on the Nasdaq, and that's what I did. I pretty much bottom ticked the PA and just caught a 2-to-1 quick in like less than 3 minutes, and I closed the trade. But in order for this to work, you need to wait for sequential SMT. You need to wait for PSP to close. after the PSP close, you can trigger your trade, and that's what I did, and I'm going to show you that here. And another thing, notice how my entry was below the true session open of the AM session. Notice how my entry or the square SMT formed one stage right here, formed below below the true day open, and this second stage of sequential SMT on the 90-minute circle formed below the true session open, right? So once I saw that, I instantly, after this price candlestick closed, I hopped into the trade like right there at the open. So right here, somewhere right here. I had my stop loss at below this. And my target and this was the trade setup right here. This was the PSP. And one thing, we also tapped after we took out first stage of liquidity, 90 day cycle sequential, 9 cycle sequential right here. We also tapped into a 1 hour FEG, so everything aligned for this to be a plus setup for my model, and that's what I traded right here. You can also see the 9 fair value gap I was aiming for right here. This is the fair value gap, but you get what I mean. Dialing it back down. But yeah, I'm gonna show you what execution looked like. And this is what the PNL looks like. About I actually made more. I was supposed to make 1.5K, but I made $48 more. And for some reason, it doesn't show the execution. But all I know, I took shorts, and it panned out. But yeah, this was 7:20 my time, which is pretty much 10:20 New York time. But yeah, that was a trade setup. This is what it looks like in 1 minute. But by the way, though, whenever I trade, I look for high time frame fair value gaps, which is on the 1 hour, 4 hour, aligned with the sequential SMT on the daily or the 90-minute circle. Then a PSP on the 5 and 15 minutes. If the PSP form in the 5 minutes, you can trigger your trade after the 5-minute call. You can trigger your trade off there if you're being a little jiggy, a little bit more risky. Or you can wait for a 3-minute inversion or a 1-minute inversion to get inversed and tap into it, and you can trade. So you can either have a total stop entry after the PSP form, you trigger a trade right there after the next candlestick open on the 5-minute, or you wait for a 1-minute inversion or a 3-minute inversion or 5-minute inversion. So either or. So I have a more riskier setup and a more moderate setup that all of them works, and they all have different variables and variances towards them in terms of profit targets or risk to reward and like loss to win ratio and all that stuff. But yeah, that is the setup today.